So it is going for, well, it's a quarter after 3 or 3:20. It's beyond a quarter after 3. It's 3:20 p.m. on November 28th, I believe. Is today the 28th or the 27th? The 28th, okay. I'm making a more special combo drink. I have to include the brown rice milk powder, and with this concoction of raspberry juice powder, carrageenan, freeze-dried banana powder right here, organic vegan cane sugar, goji berry powder, and acai berry powder. So throw in this brown rice milk powder in there. Let's do this quickly. Hold on a sec, alright? About a tablespoon worth is good enough for now. Carrageenan in there works as a thickener. Yeah, makes it last longer. Oh man, oh man. I accidentally deleted one of the videos I'd recorded earlier. I was talking about how Katamata olive eggless, or tofu eggless Katamata olive penny style pasta salad with hummus, more special hummus added on top, where the Katamata olives that are jarred with the red wine vinegar, or a wine vinegar of sort. I believe it's the red wine variety. When I eat it without any balsamic included in the recipe, like I had for 2 days, well, the day before yesterday and yesterday morning when I had the pasta I made 2 days ago and the with more sweet marinara sauce, where usually it would include balsamic, I ran out, so I had used some of the juices in the jar of olives, which was a mixture of some extra virgin olive oil and a wine vinegar of sort, along with, I think, something else. Maybe, I don't remember exactly. Maybe it's just olives. Yeah, so I used that 4 level tablespoons of the juices from the jar in place, or substituting for the balsamic I normally would use. Or if I had cider vinegar or rice vinegar, I may have used that, but I didn't. So I was doing a little resourceful type of substitutions. And so that, what I'm saying is, when I don't include balsamic, whereas today, the hummus that I had included in as an addition to the recipe here, as a topping, that had balsamic in it. So it deactivated the issue that the wine vinegar causes if I do not include the balsamic. Whereas, let's say, 2 days ago when I had more sweet marinara pasta, with the way I made it, without the balsamic, but using the juices from the jar of olives, that had the wine vinegar in there for its wine vinegar as a substitute, 4 level tablespoons. And yesterday morning when I had leftovers from the night before, I noticed the same drowsiness. I get really drowsy from when I eat it without, let's say, balsamic as the vinegar. Other than that, the other option I prefer is rice vinegar. Cider vinegar is okay. It does cause me drowsiness because the higher magnesium content from the apples, but well, there's a higher magnesium content in apples and resulting in this, with the resulted cider vinegar as well, in place of, let's say, balsamic or rice vinegar. But for those who are allergic to rice products, if it's like because they developed a rice allergy due to a population, higher population eating rice products as a major staple food, let's say from China, they're like Chinese or something, they could develop asthma or asthmatic allergic reaction, just like people in the US develop celiac disease from a resistance to eating glutinous foods, like I may even have, because I get indigestion all the time when I eat certain glutinous foods unless I mix it right with the right ingredients. A lot of the time, it just it doesn't digest. It just so I get acid reflux and indigestion. But the comparison is today I don't feel drowsy at all. I feel very I have high energy today, whereas yesterday and the night before, when I had it with, like, I knew was going to happen, I get like this really drowsy, like, I feel like as if it was, as if there was actual alcohol in that wine vinegar, but no, it just causes an issue with my between my neurotransmitters in comparison to the balsamic, where in the hummus, I had 2 level tablespoons of balsamic, maybe more. When I made the hummus, it was about 5 level tablespoons of balsamic, I believe. So it counteracts the issue from the juices from the olive jar, or the jar of olives, the wine vinegar, exclusively the wine vinegar. So. Oh yeah, I was relating it that whole thing to, let's say, one of the previous videos. I was talking about how I took chemistry for, I believe, 2 semesters. 1 year, it may have been 2 years. I may have taken chemistry class, and then I took a biology class. It may have been 2 years biology, I believe, where I was confusing it with the 2 semesters for the 1 year of chemistry. But whereas in chemistry, I was really drowsy towards the end of the afternoon, and then so I was listening. I understood the periodic table of elements and chemical structures. Later on, I gained a better understanding of, let's say, the chemical, where someone had theorized in a written article online in 1975. Someone had documented that they theorized that the chemical structure of Thujone, found active metabolite or ingredient or psychoactive ingredient found in the mint family of salvia plants, whereas, let's say, Salvia apiana is white sage that's usually found in Italian seasoning in small amounts by default, mixed with, let's say, rosemary, thyme, majoram, and those are usually the mixture for Italian seasoning. Now, Thujone is also found in rosemary too, and the other a lot of the culinary herbs that would fall under the mint category. Now, were comparable to, let's say, Salvia divinorum, which is a Mexican variety of sage. It's a completely different plant, and that contains savinorin A, which is a psychoactive ingredient, also similar to Thujone, but it's a dissociative, and it could be dangerous. It was legal for some time in the United States. The legal status has changed over several years, and I had it when I was in high school, I believe, a few years before my incident, and it was legal back then. But yeah, the legal status changes with things, whereas, for instance, Thujone, that's found in culinary white sage, or Salvia apiana is the technical name for the plant. the genus of it or whatever. It's always been legal when it like an Italian seasoning, but the way if let's say someone were to purchase absinthe and there would be a restriction on let's say the legal limit for how much Thujone one is allowed to distribute if they had a liquor license to redistribute or sell absinthe with Thujone in it. You From what I looked up, it was the year 2007 when they changed or lifted the legal restriction up to 10 milligrams per liter in the United States, where in Europe it's 35 milligrams per liter, I believe. So something like that. 10 milligrams per liter in the US, which is kind of like when I make more gluten-free, vegan, savory sage pizza crust at home, which does not include any dairy or gluten, so there's no casomorphins or glutamorphins involved that would otherwise help in determining that, let's say, if someone were to have some sort of adverse reaction to, let's say, the white sage leaves that I had crushed in my pizza crust, I would let them know ahead of time after having like one bite or one slice, if they start having like, which is very rare, for someone to have a reaction to, like say 2 small slices from a 12-inch in diameter pizza crust. It would rule out the fact of the casomorphins and glutamorphins found in dairy and glutinous grains that would normally be found in pizza that also have psychoactive principles for those who are susceptible to an allergy to casomorphin, like myself, and glutamorphins from glutinous grains. I don't have an issue with really to speak of, other than a digestive, a little bit of a digestive issue when it comes to breaking it down. It's like more like a celiac disease issue with me. Yeah. Okay. So it rules out like the fact that I would notice if it had dairy in it. It would be more difficult to notice, let's say, the Thujone psychoactivity and, let's say, more savory sage gluten-free vegan pizza crust, because I'm more susceptible than other people to the BCM7 casomorphin or receptivity reaction with the opioid receptors in the brain, if there's dairy involved, which would blur the fact of, let's say, the Thujone being detectable in the pizza. And noticing, let's say, like if you went to buy, let's say, more savory sage gluten-free vegan pizza crust and one had the same ability, they know that it feels like it feels like after drinking a beer. That's the way it causes a bit of a buzz after having 2 slices of, let's say, more gluten-free vegan savory sage pizza crust. That's about, I think it was not 12 inches in diameter. It would be about 20 to 24, 21 to 24 inches in